We have all of your Tesla stock news to get into here in this video, including almost a 3x expansion to the workforce at Giga Berlin once Cybertruck production does begin, which should be right around the corner. Some pretty exciting things we can assume from this new information. We have the markets green for the first time in what feels like a long time. Tesla stock is showing a lot of strength on the charts. We're going to get into the option activity, the increasing UAW strike that is going to affect 38 plants, which has already taken effect. So we're going to get into everything you need to know and much more. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with each and every single one of these videos that comes out to help you stay informed on Tesla and the broader markets, but hopefully help you make more money. We are going to start with this news that the Model 3 performance appears in European certification documents, hinting at upgraded performance version. The new variant has a new motor identification letter suggesting Tesla has upgraded the performance as part of the Project Highland refresh. When Tesla launched their redesigned Model 3 in China, Europe, and other regions earlier this month, only the rear-wheel drive and long-range variants debuted, with the top-of-the-line performance variant being strangely absent, even when the Model 3 was certified by China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology. That's a mouthful. The performance variant was not included, leading to some speculation that Tesla may have killed it off. But in fact, as you can see here, you do have a dual motor performance version, and this is in the VIN breakdown for the Model 3 Highland as highlighted right here. This follows news that we heard on September 2nd that the new Model 3 Highland performance will be launched in the fourth quarter at Giga Shanghai. So at some point, likely in the month of October, we should start seeing these performance variants being delivered. Tesla has revealed that once the Cybertruck production is ramped up, that Giga Texas will have over 60,000 employees. They have 20,000 employees on site currently, according to a public presentation by Jason Shawhan, Tesla's director of manufacturing at Giga Texas. At the end of 2022, Tesla had 12,300 employees at Giga Texas. Coming in 2023, Shawhan said Tesla didn't have enough parking for workers to fix the issue. The company is now building a parking garage near the factory. Tesla has become one of the largest employers in Central Texas, ranking only behind grocery chain HEB LP, which earlier this year employed 22,955 people in the metro. So Tesla plans to roughly triple their workforce once the Cybertruck is fully ramped. This might take some time, but odds are we start to get a lot more employees here soon at Giga Texas, hopefully helping this ramp process to really get going. As you know, there is over 2 million pre-orders of the Cybertruck, and quote, as Elon said on the last earnings call, demand is so far off the hook, you cannot even see the hook. That's what Elon said. So 2024 is probably going to be a great year for Tesla. It looks like Tesla has now installed 8 more V4 superchargers in France, totaling now 58. Tesla has now launched their first set of V4 chargers in Italy as well. The UAW said it has made real progress towards a deal with Ford, but is expanding its strikes against rival automakers GM and Stellantis. The United Auto Workers is expanding strikes to 38 parts and distribution locations across 20 states for General Motors and Stellantis. The union will not initiate additional strikes at Ford Motor as the company has proven it's serious about reaching a deal, Fain said during a Facebook Live. The strikes at the GM and Stellantis parts suppliers will add roughly 5,600 auto workers, including 3,500 employees at GM, to the UAW's ongoing strikes at the Detroit automakers. According to leaked private messages written by a top aide to UAW President Shawn Fain, have added to concerns among top executives at the Detroit 3 that the union hasn't been bargaining in good faith. faith. This is supposed to keep the automakers wounded for months. These shutdowns and the way that they are targeting these part suppliers, it's not going to be good even if it's resolved today. The worse this gets, well, the farther back they're going to set GM, Ford, and Stellantis. At this point, it looks like GM and Stellantis, Ford, not seeing those strikes as of right now. Here's a crazy stat according to Sawyer Merritt. If you were an employee that received stock in Tesla, Ford, and GM over the past 10 years, assuming you received it and held on to it during the whole past 10 years, Tesla stock would be up 1,900%. GM, well, you're down 10%. Ford, you're down 28% on your shares you received 12 years ago, back in 2014. As Farsad says here, no wonder they have a union. According to a new article from Teslarati, quote, Tesla's ghost hangs over UAW's ongoing strike. It would not be an exaggeration to state that Tesla and its rapid rise toward the top of the list of the world's most valuable car makers set the UAW's ongoing strike in motion. Tesla fought through the odds and came near death several times over the years, but its innovations and the runaway success of its vehicles like the Model 3 sedan and Model Y crossover have turned the automotive industry on its head. One of these innovations is the use of Giga castings, a technique that is now finding adoption among a growing number of veteran automakers. Tesla's Silicon Valley style approach to its vehicles has also ushered in an age of cars that are capable of being updated over the air. As noted in the Wired report, the auto sector's wishes to compete with Tesla in the growing EV sector has resulted in companies such as the Detroit Big Three restructuring their operations. Mark Barrett, an automotive analyst at the Michigan-based consulting plant Moran, noted that the UAW strike today is not just about pay and benefits. It is also about the electric vehicle sector. Quote, this strike is about electrification, he said. Thus, while the Detroit Big Three made $250 billion in profits in the past decade, the rapid growth of companies like Tesla may be pushing veteran automakers to save every cent possible to make sure they can stay afloat in the age of electric cars. And here ultimately lies the UAW's problem. Quote, they have little money to concede for union demands, Master said. Urban Energy, in partnership with 9 Dot Energy, designed and installed a 22 kilowatt-hour solar canopy along with the installation of New York City's first community Tesla Megapack. This has enabled us to provide more resilient energy to our communities. And as you can see here, a Tesla Megapack battery is being transported from Lathrop, California to Santa Fe Springs, California on the back of a semi-truck. And word to the wise, Sentry Mode will catch you vandalizing a Tesla anytime, day or night. And as you can see, this woman over here walks over, keys the Tesla, and then what do you think happened next? Shortly thereafter, she was arrested. Lesson is, don't vandalize a Tesla. Tesla's stock at the time of recording this video is down 0.66%. If you take a look at the option activity, you have seen 366 orders totaling $66.05 million. So a lower dollar amount than what we are typically used to on Tesla, but most of the option activity does tend to actually happen the last hour of trading. So you might see a jump here in some of the numbers towards the end of the day. But what is more important is the positive order value being 53% positive. Although Tesla is in the red today, you are seeing more positive orders heading into Tesla than negative orders, and that is a great sign. Manufacturing PMI came in at 48.9. You were expecting 48, so better than expectations, and manufacturing has not been doing well recently, so that is great news. The service PMI came in lower than expectations, and that's likely what is helping to contribute to the green that you are seeing on the broader indexes. Service PMI came in at 50.2. You were expecting 50.6, so you're actually getting pretty close to contractionary levels. Global composite PMI came in at 50.1, right in line with the estimate. Subsequently, the price of oil is declining by 0.16% right now. We have seen a spike recently, and historically speaking, right before recessions since World War II, you have seen a spike in oil. So maybe this is the spike in oil right before the recession. Either way you put it, the price of oil falling today, at least short term, is having a positive impact on our markets. The 10-year treasury today is also down about 4.5 basis points, which is taking some of the pressure off of stocks. And the 2-year treasury is down exactly 4 basis points, again taking the pressure off of the markets. A little bit of bad news in regards to the yield curve inversions. The 10 and the 2-year, well, you're starting to uninvert, and this is the problem. You normally uninvert right before a recession. So what you can see down here where my cursor is you hit the low, inverted 1.06%, and now you're only inverted 0.63%. You've started to uninvert. Normally, like I said, you invert, or uninvert I should say, right before a recession. So you're starting to see that. Is a recession coming? That's a very good question. If you look at the 10-year, 3-month yield curve inversion, that looks really troubling for the markets. At the peak in May, you were inverted 1.88%. And as you can see, I mean, usually when yield curves are inverting, it's actually a pretty good time to be an investor in the markets. It's once you start to uninvert is the problem. And you can see this quite obviously here with the 10 and 3-month yield curve inversion. Well, you have really started to uninvert. This could be a sign that within the next couple of months, we could be heading into a recession. So not great. Even though you're going to hear some people saying the curve is normalizing and things are getting better here, no, historically, once you start to increase, once you have been inverted, recession is pretty close. If you take a look at the S&P 500 at the time of recording this video, you are up about 0.5%, but don't be confused. You are under the 100-day moving average at $434.87. So if you do not get above this by the end of the day today and in after hours, that is a problem. Same goes for the NASDAQ, same goes for other big tech stocks in general. Now, if you look at Tesla, Tesla is down about 0.5% today, but you're actually finding a lot of support around this 50-day moving average as you did yesterday as well. So odds are we do close above this by the end of the day, and Tesla remains very, very strong. Tesla is far above its 100-day moving average. That 100-day moving average is down there at $238.38 per share. You are almost $20 higher than that. You're under your 100-day moving average on the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Nvidia, basically any other big tech stock. You're under your 100-day moving average. In fact, you're almost above your 50-day moving average for Tesla. So Tesla is showing a lot of strength and resilience, even though we have been coming down as the broader markets have been coming down as well. Now, why is it so important that maybe the S&P gets above the 100-day moving average by the end of the day today? Well, let me put this as simple as possible. Hedge funds and institutions, a lot of them end their 2023 calendar years at the end of September. So what's going to be happening next week? Well, next week is basically the end of September. That Friday is going to be September 29th. So that's the end of 2023 calendar year. You start 2024. So that's why the second half of September historically is pretty negative for the markets. It's actually the worst 2-week period at any point in any year, the end of September. Because if you're going to sell stocks, if you're going to book profits, or you're going to hedge out for the next year, which is going to be 2024, Well, you're going to do that in the last 2 weeks of September. So especially next week, that's where the selling could really start to get more aggressive as hedge funds and institutions are booking profits and hedging for the new year. If we take a look at Google search trend data for Tesla, everything is starting to spike again. The Model X, the Model 3, the Model Y, as well as the Model S. So things look very encouraging on the Google Trends data. To make matters even worse, it looks like a U.S. government shutdown is coming by October 1st, and hundreds of thousands of federal workers would be furloughed without pay if Congress does fail to provide funding for the fiscal year, which again, I want to point this out, starts October 1st. So it's the government's fiscal year that starts, hedge funds and institutions' fiscal year that does start. Now, this is to make matters even worse compared to everything else we have going on out there. The UAW strike, student loan repayments starting in October, the record level of debt out there and debt service payments as a portion of disposable income that are at 20-year highs. Things don't look good. Auto default rates are higher than they were during the global financial crisis, which unemployment at that time was 10%. Today's unemployment is 3.8%. If we start to see an increase there, very quickly could you start to go into a recession, and now you have the government potentially laying off hundreds of thousands of federal workers, and it gets a little worse because even though you're being laid off and you're not being paid, well, you still would need to work. So you're going to work until the government does reopen and then get your back pay. Government shutdowns normally are not a bad event for the markets. It's normally one of those things that the markets don't care about. But this time around, considering how weak the economy is, it could be a little bit more important. Now think about it as well. Unemployment benefits would also not be getting paid from my understanding. So even your UAW workers that are out there that have gotten laid off, thousands of them that are not eligible for supplemental income from GM, Ford, and Stellantis, if they're not full-time employees and they're not covered under the union contract, well, they potentially would not even be receiving any form of payment. So this situation could be quite bad. So what I'm doing right now is raising cash. Moolah, cheddar cheese, getting ready for this drop that I still believe is coming, and you should be prepared for. Now, if you guys want to come trade with me live in real time, every time I make trades, I post them. Link down below in the description of this video. That is going to do it for your wrap-up of the trading day. Today, September 22nd. Today is Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday. Markets will not be trading. I will have a video out for all of you guys that want to talk about Tesla in 2024. So be on the lookout for that one. But that's going to do it for this one. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said, if you want to stay up to date with all of this information, hopefully help you make more money. My name is Michael Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.